And my name's Mary, by the way.
All right, Mary, I'm David Rackley.
I never managed to get myself a name tag.
I'm going to give you how about my email address at work? That
Okay.
usually works the best.
Yeah, and for this sheet, we're not going to contact you based on it unless we have any issues or questions or anything like that. So.
All right. If you can read my left-handed writing.
I'm left-handed as well.
We use the right side of our minds, right?
Oh, yeah. So, could you start by just saying and spelling your name so that we make sure we got it right?
Okay, my name is David Rackley. It's Davidrackley.
And are you willing to tell us what year you were born?
Yep, I was born in 1964.
All right, and are you from Rocky Mount?
I am.
Is your family from here?
Yes.
Your whole life?
Yep, that's me.
Wow, and so how did you get involved working at the mill?
My grandfather worked here for 49 and a half years.
Wow, what was his name?
His name was Alton Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's dad also worked here. Not sure the years. He worked here as a manager, and then he took over the mill in South Boston, Virginia, and that's where he retired from.
And did your dad work here?
My dad did not.
Oh, I was going to say, you would have been a fourth generation.
No, my dad went into the military.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was doing the Vietnam stuff. So.
Okay. And so what was
and
your...
that's when I came along.
Yeah, 66.
Yeah.
And so what was your job here?
I was a robot hauler in the finishing department, and I also worked in the shop.
Okay.
I repaired stuff.
Okay. And what years did you work here?
I was 16, so in the late 70s. And when I was in high school, I would get out of school at like 12, 15 and come to work here second shift. I've done that in my junior and senior year.
And so you said you'd come in at 12, 15. How many hours did you work?
I would come here at 3. I'd get out of school. I'd work second shift 3 to 11. I've done that for 2 years.
Okay. And how long did you work here? I'm sorry, did you say?
2.
Just for 2 years?
Yeah.
All right. And what did you do after that?
I went to school for a little while, and then I just started working.
But you stayed in Rocky Mount?
I did. I did. I stayed in Rocky Mount.
Where did your family live while you were here?
My dad lived on Carr Street, and my mother lived on River Drive. That's where my grandfather lived from 44 to 05.
Do you remember hearing your grandparents talk about working in the mill?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to come here all the time. I paid the light bill.
And you said which one of them was a manager?
My dad's dad. His name was David Rackley also. And they called him Harold Rackley. And I'm not sure exactly. I just know that he was a manager here. They said he was in management.
Yeah.
And so he ended up taking over the mill in South Boston when he left here.
And so do you have a lot of childhood memories around here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And my dad was also the paper boy of the mill village when he was like 12. I have this certificate from the telegram. I found it when he passed. I was going through his stuff, and I found and I asked my aunt what it was. She said, yeah, they give him a certificate when he was like 12. He used to do all the papers in the mill village.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, we actually, just next door there, we have somebody who's scanning items. If people brought anything, you can scan them and then take it back home with you. If you're willing to share that, we would love that.
Cool, man. Yeah.
And that way, we can have a copy, but you can keep the original.
Yeah, it's kind of weathered, of course, But, yeah, I would love to share that with you guys. And my grandfather, he's got a clock. My sister has it now, but when he worked here, I think it was his 35th year, they give him a clock.
Wow, like a full size?
It's one of the mantle Seth Thomas clocks, like you put on the mantle, kind of shaped like that.
Wow.
Yeah. John's in the picture. He's giving it to him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We actually have...
I think I got like a couple of pictures because they give them something at 25 years maybe, and then they give them the clock at 35. So, yeah, I got a couple of pictures of John.
That's great. Yeah, you should definitely stay in touch with us. Let us know what you got.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff.
Great, yeah. You're effectively third generation Rocky Mountain Mills.
Yeah, and my grandfather, Rackley, they lived on Carr Street, and then they moved into the we always called it the old Lewis home. It's the Stonewall house. And my dad, I think my dad was like 16 when they moved there, because he had like a band he played in, and they used to practice in the basement area. I don't. Have you ever been through there? You haven't ever been through there? You need to go check that out. But yeah, so my family lived on the Mill Village, and my dad's family lived in the Stonewall house too.
So being a third generation Rocky Mountain Mills worker, what do you think of what they're doing here, renovating the mill and the mill houses?
I think it's great, man, you know, because I watched it, you know, weather, and I was just seeing these houses more or less just, you know, thinking that they weren't going to be here anymore. And all my childhood memories are going away, so it's really good to see this coming about. I'd love to be involved with it. I told my wife, I said, I wish I could work for this, you know, because I'd like to see it, you know, turn into what it's going to be.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I said, hey, keep in touch with us. I'll give you a business card afterwards.
Yeah, I would do it for free, man. It's just cool.
Well, do you have any particular memories of when you were working here?
Yes, I remember it being hot, you know, and being cold because, you know, and everybody was really nice, you know, it was kind of like a family, you know. I still have, throughout the years, I got a couple of people that I still keep in touch with. There was a friend of mine, he worked here until it closed. He was the warehouse manager, and him and I have been buddies since we were kids, and I still see him now.
Great, you should tell them all to come on down here this
Yeah. I told him to, you know, come. He's kind of he stays to himself, you know. He doesn't get out a whole lot, so he doesn't like the crowd thing. But I think he would enjoy this. He needs to come check it out.
Yeah, so you said you remember it being hot and cold.
Yeah.
What was your sort of, I guess, day-to-day schedule like? Like you came in, you clocked in.
Yeah, I really remember working in the shop more because I really enjoyed that because I got to actually fix stuff that was, you know, going to be put back to in production work. And Robert Bailey, I don't know if you've heard his name mentioned, but he was a boss here. And he was my boss. He actually lived across the street from us on River Drive. And he kind of gave me my job and kept me busy, so I enjoyed working in there. And it was always open. That's why I say it was cold, because, you know, they kept the windows open in the shop. So in the wintertime, you were cold.
Why did they keep them open?
Because they kept those turbines running and they created a lot of heat, and sometimes, you know, they would put off smoke or something like that, so they would just keep ventilation in there. And it was in the very back part of the mill.
Were there a lot of people your age coming doing like a day at high school and then coming to work?
No, not really. There was a lot of kids that had dropped out of school that worked here that were my age. But I got into a program where I could leave school early, you know, and still be a student. So it was pretty cool. Back then it was about making money and not going, you know, and not furthering your education.
Do you remember the names of some of the folks that you worked with?
Yeah, I worked with, there was this lady, we called her Miss Annie. I couldn't tell you what her last name was. Take for granted it's been a long time. And there was a guy that ran the elevator. We used to call him, we called him Grandpa because he had like 12 kids. And he was like maybe 40, you know, so yeah, he had a herd of kids. And, you know, I can remember faces a whole lot better than I can remember names. So, yeah.
Well, we actually, if you go, you take the shuttle and they're showing one of the renovated mill houses right now. And we actually have over 300 pictures from the archives, you know, from all different years here. And we're hoping that people might recognize somebody because a lot of these pictures don't have any information on. So you should absolutely go check that out.
And where would that be?
So the shuttle's leaving from right out there.
Right.
It's, I forget which street it's on. It's house number 15.
Yeah, they said it was Carr Street.
Yeah, okay. Then there you go. It's 15 Carr Street. Yeah, and it's just open all day. And so you should
Do you actually live on the village now?
Me?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't. But we do, you know, a lot of the people who are working here do live here now. So
Right,
that's great.
right. Do you work for Capital?
So I do not. I am actually volunteering here today with UNC with the Digital Innovation Lab, who's
cool.
the guess the group who's doing the historical sort of museum part of this.
Well, you tell Scott Mason I want his job.
Okay. Yeah, no, Capitol's been wonderful though.
Oh yeah, they have. They've been
They're,
great.
you know, they had a great success with the American Tobacco Campus, and so hopefully this will be a great success too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it finish. I think it was a couple of months ago when I done a tour here, they were saying hopefully it'll be done by 18. So I'm hoping to see a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, what are you hoping that this renovation will do for the community?
I'm hoping that, of course it will restore the village and maybe bring that family atmosphere back to these houses and the people living close. I think that was one thing I remember when I was a kid, everybody shared stuff. They grew gardens and everybody had, shared and knew everybody. And it would be nice to see that come back. And of course, give people somewhere to go, walk in here. If you live there and they're going to have all kinds of stuff, supposedly inside the mill. Give people somewhere to go and enjoy.
Yeah. Do you remember when the mill closed? Were you living here at that time?
I was living here when it closed. My friend Terry that I was telling you about, that was the warehouse manager. He was one of the last ones to work here. So.
And what effect did that have in the community?
Most of the people, put them out of a job. And, it was kind of sad to see this place had been here forever.
It's 1818.
Yeah, and for it to close, I think a lot of people thought it never would happen, And that's one thing that I liked to see it come back to life, because I watched it every day when I go to work. I'd ride by here and just see it crumbling, So it's good to see it come back. I'm glad somebody picked it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that there are still people like yourself who are really interested in seeing it become something great again.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up here, so it's good to see it coming back.
Well, do you have any other particular memories that you want to share while we're recording?
No, not really. Just other than, this is kind of like I call it home. So, my family and my cousins and all played on the little playground right down the road. And, so like I said, it's just good to see that.
Yeah. All right. Let me shut these off real quick. Ooh.